AIADMK leader Sasikala is in the thick of a major controversy after a senior official at Bengaluru Central Prison, where she is housed, alleged that officials in that jail had been paid bribes of up to 2 crore rupees to ensure that she got VVIP treatment inside the prison. The DG Prisons is denying this, but with a senior official, a whistleblower of sorts, who will be with us on the newsroom in just a moment from now, speaking out, hitting out against what's happening. The Karnataka government, led by Siddaramaiah, now under immense pressure to crack down. Our Bengaluru bureau with this story.
Mid-February this year, when Chinnama made her way into Bengaluru's Parappana Agrahara prison, the world knew that the AIADMK General Secretary would be no ordinary prisoner. Because everyone knew her as Tamil Nadu's most powerful politician after Jayalalitha's death. 6 months on, those fears are proven right. She's a prisoner only in name. The revelation made by DIG Prisons, Rupa Mudgil. The officer laying bare how the Bengaluru prison is actually nothing more than a golden cage, at least for Sasikala. In a letter to the DGP of Karnataka, the officer has claimed, hours after India Today accessed the explosive letter, the deputy of the man accused of taking bribes to give special favors to Sasikala was forced to clarify.
There is no special facility given to Sasikala. She is in an ordinary woman's barrack, first floor. Okay? And there is nothing, no undue favors being done, even in the matter of visitation. We have not obliged the ministers or MPs or MLAs of Tamil Nadu. All allegations are false. There is no special treatment meted out to anybody. I am telling you, even if she thinks there is an allegation against me, also she can tell me, sir, this is what people are talking. We don't mind. I am open to investigation.
Let there be a fact-finding inquiry. In that report, there are facts which even now can be proved. So let there be an inquiry. I have submitted it to DG Prisons. Let him take action. I have given also a copy to the government. I have also read Prison Act, Prison Manual. So there is no question of me not knowing the rules.
As the ADGP and the DIG faced off in Bengaluru, back home in Chennai, Sasikala's family dismissed the report, alleging that she's too upset to even eat idli and dosa.
Just a personal war. She's taking it personally and she's using Sasikala as a bait.
Is she having a special kitchen? Is she getting special food?
I don't think a normal human being will take any special treatment because the place we are staying is a prison. So even if you are going to be given a special treatment, you will not be in the mood to accept it, you know. You will not ask for buri, idli or dosa out there. You are staying in jail. So mentally you will be, you won't be good enough.
But maybe this report shouldn't surprise us, because we have seen these symptoms before. If now it's special food, earlier it was special visiting rights. India Today accessed the Bengaluru jail's visitors log that clearly showed Sasikala's VVIP Raj. While ordinary convicts are allowed only 1 visitor in 15 days, Sasikala logged over 27 visitors in 31 days. Ordinary under trials are allowed visitors only between 11 and 5. For Sasikala, her visitors breezed in, even past 5 PM on several occasions.
நாட்டில் தான் பல பிரச்சனைகள் இந்த ஆட்சி நடந்துகிட்டு இருக்குன்னு பார்த்தா இப்போ சிறைச்சாலைகள்லையும் பேசக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு சூழ்நிலை வந்திருக்கு. சசிகலா அவங்க பெங்களூரு சிறையிலேயே போய் அதிகாரிகள்கிட்ட பணம் கொடுத்து ஏதோ வசதிகள்லாம் தேடி கொண்டதாக பல செய்திகள் வந்துகிட்டு இருக்கு. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸರ್ ಎಸಿಪಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸರ್. ತುಂಗಭದ್ರ ಉಳಿದು ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಭಾರಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
The rot is apparent. The government has ordered a probe. But does it have the will to cut these VVIPs to size? A story we have seen repeated over time. Whether it be Sasikala or Pappu Yadav, Sanjay Dutt or Shahabuddin. With Priyamvada in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
First and foremost on the Newsroom showdown tonight, I want to go across to India's best-known Director General of Prisons, current Governor of Puducherry, Dr. Kiran Bedi joins us live on the Newsroom. Dr. Bedi, welcome. You've got a whistleblower officer inside jail levelling very serious allegations against her seniors. Her seniors say this is just an attempt to tarnish their image. You're looking very carefully at what's happening. What are you making of Sasikala's jailhouse rock, Dr. Bedi?
I welcome such courage. I welcome such courageous stand. There are not many. This much is not available easily anymore. So I welcome this courageous whistleblower. The DGP should have asked the DIG, saying, let's go along, show me what you're saying. Come, instead of saying it's not founded, I would expect the senior colleague to say, if my junior is saying it, let's go to the prison visit together. And secondly, why don't they install cameras so that you raise accountability and transparency to remove such allegations of corruption? So rather than ordering new probes, why not walk it together? Take a judge along so that we finish the matter. There's a need for one more inquiry. One is saying this has happened, the senior is saying it hasn't. The issue is go together and see whether there's a kitchen running, and the records will show whether visitors have been more than necessary. I think all these are matter of record. I welcome this courageous statement of this young woman IPS officer. I'm not doing it because she's a woman. I welcome courageous whistleblowers in any service.
And we've already seen, Dr. Bedi, that the Sasikala gang has a track record. We saw what happened in the by-elections where the election finally had to be called off because of the amount of money that was being distributed in the RK Nagar by-poll. So there is a track record here, but how easy or difficult would it be to pay a bribe of 2 crore rupees? You've been Director General Prisons. You understand how the prison machinery functions. You've been a long crusader for justice inside jails. How easy is it to do this? What's the solution?
The public servants in our country today, some of them are beyond a price. They're priceless. And there are many who have a price. So I think people who want to buy up, they know the price and they are able to pay. Those who have the money, they buy up. So you have both kinds of public servants in our country today. Those who are beyond a price, but there are very few, let me tell you that. And those who have a price, and there are many. So these people who need a facility, and they have the money, they buy. So such courageous reports and statements should be welcomed. Rather than being snubbed, rather than being not right, walk it. Go and see things for yourself. And we need to raise the element of fear of getting caught. Put systems in place by which people's chances of getting caught are higher, because such situations in the prisons are very tough for such people. So therefore, they have to buy comfort for every little thing, even probably a bottle of mineral water. It will be charged 4 times over. So people have a price, and therefore, when those money power gets you the price, gets you these people they bought over.
Bedi, what we're also seeing is a series of insinuations, smear campaigns against DIG Rupa, from saying, oh, she used to be a beauty contestant. How does any of that have anything to do with the material charges that she's leveled? She's saying the 2 crore rupees have been paid, that Sasikala is having a gala time inside prison, she has VVIP facilities. Instead of probing those, you cast all manner of aspersions on the lady officer.
Exactly, that's exactly my point of view. And leadership should welcome feedback. She's had the courage, Rupa has had the courage to put it in writing, speak it out, and has the courage to give a feedback. I think a very important aspect of any leadership is welcoming feedback. If you are clean and if nothing like this happens, take her along. Take her along. I don't see any vested interest in her making the statement and putting it in writing. What's her vested interest?
Absolutely, you're spot on. Dr. Kiran Bedi, for joining us with your very forthright thoughts. Thank you so much. Governor Puducherry, well-known police officer Dr. Kiran Bedi. I want to start now the Newsroom showdown for tonight. And joining us on this broadcast, representing both sides of the AIADMK divide, KC Palanisamy. He's a spokesperson largely for the OPS camp. C. Rajshekharan, he largely is a supporter of the Sasikala camp. Vijay Grover is joining us from Karnataka. I want to go across to Mr. Palanisamy first, because what we've seen is a DIG prisons coming out and saying that money was given to ensure that Sasikala is comfortable in prison. This is now being denied. Do you believe that the manner in which the DGP has come down really casts questions about whether there will be a fair probe at all? Because he's already said that this is not true, this is vendetta. If that's the approach with which you start an investigation, how will the truth ever emerge?
Yeah, I think Ms. Rupa, the DIG, has given a very strong report, and definitely she will be made accountable for her report. She has not made any rumors. She has put it in writing and sent to the government also. And the Chief Minister is in charge of the Home Ministry, and the DGP is denying those charges. And one of the allegation is made against the DGP. So Sasikala is inside the prison as ordered by the Supreme Court. There should be a Supreme Court monitored probe on this issue. And the whole jail manual has been violated by Ms. Sasikala, not only on the kitchen and also many other aspects. She indirectly attempt to run the government through her through Mr. TTV Dinakaran. She attempt to run the government, and the visitors, all the jail manual is totally not respected. So there should be an inquiry.
Chekran,
and there is a
what we have over here is a repeat offender. Similar things happened during the by-elections, which finally had to be called off because of the sheer amount of cash being exchanged. There again, charges were leveled against the Sasikala clan, and now again, charges that you're paying so much money so that you can be comfortable in jail. This VVIP jailhouse rock needs to be taken down, and the most stringent possible action taken against them.
Yeah, wherever she goes, the money goes, the corruption goes. And
Mr.
this is not the
Rajshekharan.
first time. The first.
Yes, Rahul. See, I'm not a member of AIADMK. See, if you say that somebody has given bribe, you need to prove it with hard evidence. Where is the money trail? And mere writing in a piece of paper or a diary does not hold good before law. There are humpty number of Honorable Supreme Court judgments which have thrashed that. Point number one. Point number two, see, Mrs. Sasikala is a convict.
Argue, Mr. Rajshekharan, by saying only this, that if at all there is to be a probe, and this is a whistleblower officer speaking out from within the prison. This is not Palanisamy from the OPS camp speaking out. This is a whistleblower who's in the prison, revealing what she knows. There must be a probe. How can the government, how can the DGP prisons start going out and casting aspersions on that officer and saying this is vendetta, this is not true?
I'll tell you, Rahul, 20 days before Rupa Mudgal joined the prisons, and within 20 days, she has come out with a report. Fine. The Chief Minister of Karnataka and the Congress President Working Person Dinesh Gundrao have categorically said there is a high-level probe ordered by the Chief Minister, and the outcome of the probe would definitely, they would take appropriate action. That is the statement of the Chief Minister of Karnataka, because the Home Ministry comes under the Chief Minister and he is in charge of the prisons. There ends the matter. The secondary thing is DIG has submitted a report to the DGP, and the DGP prisons has categorically said there is no such allegations as on date. We will look into the matter. Mere allegations does not fix anybody, or you cannot say that this has been done and this is a foolproof report. See, there has to be an inquiry conducted on this report, and the outcome of the report we have to wait and watch, then speculate what is happening or what is going to happen. All this is jumping our guns. It's too early to speculate on something which is not fair.
Across to D. Rupa now, the DIG involved, joining us on this broadcast. 1 second. Because what she said has sparked this big storm. So let's speak to the lady herself. Ma'am, welcome. You just saw Kiran Bedi congratulate you, saying you're a true whistleblower and that you've spoken out, and what you've said really needs to be appreciated and applauded. What evidence do you have to back this? What did you see happen around you? Why are you saying what you are at this time?
Well, it was not first of all a press conference. It was accidental that they caught me in my office and they came to my chamber. And while talking to them also, I have said that I wouldn't be divulging anything which is in the report. So there is no detail which I have given about the report. But I only say that I have given a fair report and as per my finding. Otherwise, it would have been a lapse on my part to have noticed it and not given a report. And I have given a report not to anybody else but to my own boss to set the things right and to take action against the culprits. And I stand by it, and if my finding is not correct, then I think, fact-finding inquiry can be set up in detail. I think government also would be taking some steps.
But you've seen, ma'am, your super boss, the Director General Prisons, come out and say that Rupa's report is based on assumptions, on rumors, on wild allegations. She has no evidence to back it.
No. Only when that report is seen by all, maybe you can find. You yourself will know that it is not rumor or anything. There is evidence for that. Yeah, that's it.
You know, you've said in this report that money is changing hands, that senior officers are being bribed. Are you ready for a thorough inquiry? Are you confident that the results of the inquiry will bear you out, ma'am?
Yeah, if there is a detailed fact-finding inquiry, naturally I stand by my report, and I mean, most welcome, and I mean, it's a welcome move.
A brave woman, you've spoken out against corruption inside Bengaluru Central Prison. You're ready for a thorough probe. Let's see what that probe throws up. I want to go across to Vijay Grover. He's joining us from Karnataka, Bengaluru. Vijay, what are you making of these charges? You're hearing one DIG say that there's corruption, that money is being exchanged. You've heard the Director General Prison say that no, this is just a wild charge. She's saying it because of vendetta.
Rahul, see, one thing we have to look into this is the fact that, there is no smoke without fire, and this is something very clearly, the fact that the government has come out and has ordered a probe now clearly reflects that, the Chief Minister came out in a way acknowledges the report that DIG Rupa has given. And this is something which is not new to the Bangalore Central Prison. We have seen in the past, there were very high profile cases which came out. In fact, Telgi was alleged to have 2 assistants over there. Apart from that, there are several other high profile prisoners. We've seen transactions of mobile phones or ganja or other things which have happened in the past. So certainly if DIG Rupa has come out, it clearly is a time for introspection, and I think so the Karnataka government, which is in an election year, will order a probe to vindicate what has been made out in this report. And this is something where we should understand that the Karnataka government in this Jayalalitha and Sasikala's case is actually no party at all. This case was transferred to Bengaluru, and after that even the imprisonment was ordered in Bengaluru, and clearly the Karnataka government, which has got no role in this entire conflict, has
very clear, Mr. Rajshekharan, from what Rupa is saying, what Vijay Grover is saying, from what we heard from Dr. Kiran Bedi, that there must be a thorough probe. That the fact that she is getting these kind of VVIP facilities is something which is being said by an insider, which is why it needs to be taken very seriously. This is not the DMK saying this. You've got an insider who's in that prison. It cannot be summarily dismissed as some kind of conspiracy against Sasikala.
See, Rahul, I don't support corruption in any form, wherever it may be in the country. But again, the fact of the matter is, the high-level probe would definitely spill out many things, as your panelist had mentioned, the senior journalist in the panel. See, let us wait. Why jump our guns and say that somebody has given bribe? See, any bribe, you should have a giver and a taker. You need proof for that. The money trail has to be proved. Mere playing to the galleries, making wild allegations in the air and say the bribe was given to X, Y, Z, and it does not hold good before court of law. Let us be practical in our thoughts also, because since you have to prove the money trail. Without that, you cannot say bribe is given.
That's the key aspect here, because Rupa has leveled this charge. She's come on our channel and she said she's got evidence. None of that evidence has been laid out. If this cash was paid, it wouldn't have been paid through a check. Will she be able to find the evidence to substantiate what she's saying? Mr. Palanisamy.
Yes, definitely.
Ms. Rupa is in charge of that prison. she has inspected, she has visibly seen, she has made that report in writing, and it will come up in the investigation who paid this money. Obviously, Ms. Sasikala may not have that money inside the prison, so somebody might have acted on her behalf. So that needs to be investigated. The truth will come out.
Indeed emerge. I'm going to leave it there, gentlemen. Mr. Palaniswamy, Rajshekhar and Vijay Grover for joining us on the newsroom tonight. Thank you very much. This is a story we will continue to track very closely. I want to shift our attention to the biggest expose of this year, the Hurriyat Truth Tapes. Put out by India Today, caused a massive national storm, the National Investigation Agency continuing to probe. And now, from what we've gathered by speaking to some of the key investigators, is that the NIA has recovered from the residence of Naeem Khan. You remember that man who tried to threaten us, intimidate us, tried to bully and browbeat us into taking down the story, which of course we didn't. From his house, thank you notes to the Hizbul Mujahideen have been recovered. Now, what is the Hizbul Mujahideen thanking him for? The Hizbul Mujahideen, one of India's most dreaded terror outfits, thanking this Hurriyat leader. Kamaljeet Sandhu and Jiten Bahadur Singh filed this India Today impact story.
Hizbul Mujahideen says thank you to separatist Naeem Khan. An old Lashkar-e-Taiba letter recovered at the house of Mirwais Umar Farooq's principal aide. 26 raids conducted by NIA sleuths, incriminating proof against the Pak agents. Mounting evidence recovered from files and data stored on 22 computers, laptops, 94 mobiles, 170 pen drives, 26 memory sticks. This less than 2 months after the India Today expose stung the separatist leaders of Kashmir.
आपकी फंडिंग है वो मतलब साल के हिसाब से वो करते हैं आपकी फंडिंग या how they fund you? Different. Yeah, quarterly they fund you. Quarterly. Yeah, annually they fund you.
कभी मतलब quarterly और 6 monthly इस तरीके से
आ जाता है.
और कभी कभार वो ऐसा भी होता है कि वो कहीं सूर्या में रहते हैं, कतर में किस देते हैं, वहाँ से वहाँ गया, वहाँ से इधर आ गया दिल्ली, फिर आपने यहाँ से मुझे दिया. थोड़ा सा उसमें भी होता है परसेंटेज बीच वाला कट भी करता है, जैसे पाकिस्तान से वहाँ गया वहाँ से.
The India Today sting is still sending out aftershock after aftershock. As the probe picks up pace, Mirwais Umar Farooq's maternal uncles and close aides grilled last week by the NIA. Last week, in connection with their funding. The proof against the Hawks is watertight. A thank you note written in Urdu from Hizbul Mujahideen has been recovered during the raids from stung leader Naeem Khan's residence. 60 pages of blank Hizbul Mujahideen letterheads were also recovered. A 2006 Lashkar-e-Taiba letter seeking financial aid and donations has been recovered from the Srinagar home of Shahidul Islam, a close aide of Mirwais Umar Farooq. Direct evidence, but the separatists are trying to evade the questions. Naeem Khan refusing to answer direct questions on his links with terrorist organization Hizbul Mujahideen.
पिछले 3 साल से चाह रहा था कि ऐसी चीज हो.
कैसी?
इतनी बड़ी पावरफुल स्टेशन चले
जो अब चलिए बुरहान वाली के बाद 5 महीने जो अब चल रही है.
हाँ, चल रही है. मतलब वो इतना भी नहीं चाहते थे, कहीं वो 1 महीना चाहते थे कि पावरफुल 1 महीना. ऐसा नहीं होता, मतलब इसमें बड़ी चीजें फिर शामिल हो जाती हैं.
उनकी फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट रही इस वाले में, प्रेजेंट
में रहा, पर जिस लेवल का होना चाहिए
फिर भी
जिस लेवल का मैंने
100 करोड़ तो रहा होगा.
तो छोटी सी बात.
कितना तो रहा ना,
तो उससे ज्यादा ही रहा, बट मैं कहता हूँ
ज्यादा ही रहा.
Investigators await the results of forensic tests on the hard disks and computer drives, and then there will be no running away. The Hurriyat terror link is burning the valley. What more proof is required to shut down the Hurriyat once and for all? With Kamaljeet Sandhu in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Mark my words, this investigation by India Today will have a deeper impact on taking on these anti-national elements than any other story done by any other publication or TV channel ever in Kashmir. Hizbul Mujahideen sending this Hurriyat leader thank you note, whatever for? Naeem Khan, Bitta, Karate, you have a lot to answer for, and I'm glad that the NIA is probing this with such thoroughness. In fact, even today, they were in our mediaplex seeking questions, speaking to the journalists who worked on this story. Their probe is going strong and it's going firm. Big trouble ahead for the Hurriyat conference. Pharma companies in collusion with hospitals are charging customers up to 9 times of what hospitals have to pay for the same life-saving medicine. And this is truly shocking because remember, there is a certain amount of a markup and a difference between wholesale and retail prices in every enterprise. That markup can be 15%, 20%, 30%, maybe even 50% at times. But can that markup be 1,000%? How is that even okay? How is companies which manage to sell medicines to hospitals, say for 1,800 rupees in the case of a cancer medicine, which you're about to see in our report next, selling that same medicine in the open market or at pharmacies being run by that same hospital at 18,000 rupees. This makes absolutely no sense. This is a shocking, disturbing India Today special report filed by my colleague Anand Patel. Sit back and watch this.
When you walk into a hospital, you walk in with an extraordinary degree of trust. You trust your doctors for your treatment. Your medicines, no matter how expensive they might be. But insiders of the medical profession have now come out into the open, bearing disturbing evidence of how your jostle for lifesavers might be holding you hostage to brutally overpriced surgical devices and drugs. Anguished, the Alliance of Doctors and Ethical Healthcare has now broken the unwritten code of not speaking out against their own. A key member of the non-profit, Dr. G.S. Grewal, is campaigning against what he firmly believes is an arbitrary price regime.
Industry says that it will stop our R&D, it will stop our production. I have one open question to the pharmaceutical companies. When you are giving me a medicine at 200 rupees at a MRP of 690, how does company has already covered its price, its production, its employee, everything, and the stockist and the retailer's margin in the 200? Why should that 600 be allowed by the government or by any pharmaceutical company? Because I am in a compulsion, because I am patient.
Dr. Grewal's group not only wrote to the Prime Minister suggesting that the maximum retail prices of drugs be regulated, he has also revealed a devastating truth. Price quotations various drug companies purportedly sent to private hospitals. These documents reveal massive variations in the costs of life-saving drugs. These price quotations show that hospitals might be paying 9 times less on cancer and heart drugs than patients are charged for. Yes, this price difference is 9-fold. Patients being ripped off, pill by pill, shot by shot. A damning disclosure about what appears to be an outrageous profiteering in the pharma industry. Gross MRPs aren't limited to a single company, but seem to be spread across the sector. Take a look at these quotations. We first highlight the price of cancer drugs that hospitals and wholesalers pay. Pune's M-Cure Oncology offering Demicure 250 mg, an anti-cancer medicine, to an Amritsar hospital at under 2,000 rupees. Now see how much it costs the patients, more than 18,000 rupees in MRP. Similarly, patients are charged as high as 16,500 rupees for one vial of Pemcure 500 mg. But the same cancer drug costs a little over 3,000 rupees to hospitals. Take a look at the margins of Reliance Life Sciences is providing to hospitals for cancer medicines. Trasturel 450 mg offered at around 31,000 rupees to hospitals. For patients, it's more than 58,000. Rituxirel 500 mg is sold in retail at more than twice the hospital price of some 15,000 rupees. Drugs used for heart treatment are priced no differently. Look at this one. A quotation from Abbott, a reputed pharmaceutical company, offering branded drugs at 3 times below the MRP to hospitals. Retilex 18 mg, an anticoagulant, sold at just 18,000 rupees to hospitals. For patients, it's priced at close to 33,000 rupees. Eptifab 100 ml, another heart medicine, costs 3,500 to hospitals and more than 12,000 rupees to patients. India Today has been chasing the drug makers over the past 1 week, but none of them has yet commented on this price variation. A health activist, Raj Narayan, explains this phenomenon.
जब वो अस्पताल पहुंचते हैं तो अस्पताल में घूम रहे बड़ी-बड़ी फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनियों की दलालें उनको खा जाते हैं। चाहे हम कैंसर के मरीज की बात करें, हार्ट की मरीज की बात करें, वो मरीजों को बड़ी आसानी से उसके टॉट दिन भर अस्पतालों के अंदर घूमते रहते हैं, उन्हें बड़ी आसानी से अपनी जाल में फंसा लेते हैं।
Calls are growing for mechanisms to bring every drug under price control, branded and generic alike. Dr. Meera Shiva of the All India Drug Action Network says every medical procedure on patients should also be subject to audit.
So the national list of essential medicine, we have for 2015, the WHO essential drug list 2017 has come. So many other, because like especially for antibiotics, when resistance emerges, you need newer ones, etc. You get newer drugs which are safety-wise, efficacy-wise maybe better, you know. But the question is, then do we leave the irrational, non-essential and other drugs 10% increase per year, which has been allowed under DPCO? Right. You know, should it be the no? Many of them should not be in the market. Patients should not waste their money on it.
The country's essential medicines list carries only 376 entries, which is less than 1/4 of drugs available in the market. But regulators insist they step in to control arbitrary pricing.
The nexus lies completely exposed. The surprising part is that not only the branded drug manufacturers but also the generic ones are neck deep into it. Perhaps it's time now for the government to step in and stop this loot.
In February, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government slashed the prices of cardiac stents by as much as 58%. But the momentum needs to be sustained in order for other life-saving drugs and devices to become more affordable. With Anand Patel in Delhi, this is India Today's special investigation team.
So what should the government be doing to try and ensure that customers are not fleeced? And is this in any way at all unfavorable or disadvantageous to the pharma companies that claim that they spend the money on R&D and therefore they need these margins? Of course they need margins, but is 1,000% margin a fair margin at all, given that the same drug is being sold to the hospital at 1/10 the price? Anand Patel got that story. Well done, Anand. That's a solid story and very important to put out for customers to know. Also with us on the broadcast at this time is Ashim Sanyal, Chief Operating Officer of Voice. Voice is the voluntary organization in the interest of consumers. Dr. Wali is a senior physician. He's the president's doctor. Welcome, Dr. Wali. Gopal Krishna Agarwal is a spokesperson of the BJP. I want to go across first and foremost to Dr. Wali as a very seasoned physician, as a medical sector insider. This is shocking, you know, because when anybody goes into a hospital, you're not going to bargain. So if I'm going to go to a shop to try and buy this jacket, if the shopkeeper says 5,000, I can say 4,000, there can be an argument. When a doctor says, or when a pharmacist says 18,000 rupees is what you have to pay for a medicine, 18,000 is what you pay. But what you don't know is that the hospital could be earning a 10 times markup, Dr. Wali. What do you believe needs to be done on the back of this India Today special report?
Yes. Well, thank you for bringing out this once more. Your channel has brought such issues when its standing price was being controlled by the government. This again is very important. I would not call it pricing, I would call it a greed. It's a greed for the life-saving medicines for those poor patients who don't know how much is the costing and how much is the marketing price which they are paying, plus GST also they are paying on that. So it costs them many times, but the poor patient doesn't know the actual cost. Probably this trend has creeped from abroad. In abroad, one company makes a medicine and then monopolizes it and earns many times profit, as we have seen in the case of statins. Lipitor, trillions of dollars were earned, and that tablet now in India is costing few rupees, and in America it was costing many dollars, like $9, $10 for the tablet, costing in India 3 rupees. So this happens at the pretext of telling the consumers that we have to charge for R&D, research and development for a particular
But there has to be a limit.
By the time drugs come to India,
there has to be a limit. Yes, of course, companies must recover their R&D price and more. They must make a profit. But that profit can be 15%, 20%, 30%, 40%, maybe if you've done something special, 50%. That profit cannot be 1,000%. That makes no sense. Consumers are being fleeced. What's your government going to do, Mr. Agarwal?
Definitely this is an important issue, and I would like to mention is that these companies which are talking of patent and research and development, the alternative which the government is planning and working on is the one solution. One example that you gave was patent, how the prices were slashed to more than around 58%. The same thing the government under the Jan Aushadhi scheme is asking people and the doctors and the hospitals to move from specific branded medicines to generic medicines, generic drugs, where it is asking the doctors to put the name of the salt in their prescription, so that a patient can go and ask to the chemist the salt. By the salt he can buy the generic medicine, which is under the price control on the National Pharma Pricing Authority, where the pricing of generic medicine is drastically less than
yes, you're right. Medicines. But the problem, Anand Patel, is there is lack of consumer awareness. I don't know how many people watching India Today, and our audience is highly educated people who would otherwise be very worldly wise, but how do you know that this drug for which you're paying 18,000 rupees is actually worth just 900?
Absolutely, and on top of that, what the BJP spokesperson is saying, that the government is promoting, advocating use of generic drugs, which are absolutely cheaper. But if you look at the quotations we've got, even the generic drug manufacturers are inflating prices, although that is not as much as compared to the branded drugs, but they're also inflating prices. And secondly, the doctors get a huge margin by prescribing these branded drugs.
Oh, absolutely, and that's a well-known secret. Ashim Sanyal, to my mind, as I research this story, the only solution is the stent model. Pharma companies will be upset, but you have to hammer prices down, because remember, and I'm making this point again, that when a pharma company, and this is not about one company or one particular hospital chain, everyone's in the same game. When you sell to a hospital, you're already charging an amount which includes your profits. Nobody's going to sell to a hospital at lesser than basic operations and cost price. So you're already making a certain amount of money. How much more money are you going to make? 1,000% is not okay. Mr. Sanyal, as a consumer voice, how do you believe the government should go about this?
Rahul, the dual pricing policy of almost all products, including pharmaceutical products, has been a menace in the Indian market for a pretty long time. We have tried to control that in terms of packaged goods, where through court cases and through a directive from Department of Consumer Affairs, we have said there will be only one price. You sell it to airport, you sell it at a departmental store, or you sell it to a panwala, it's going to be one price. Now that's basically the good the consumable sector. In pharmaceutical sector, this is a very well blown out thing, in fact, that companies, I would say the entire industry is actually charging far more price from organized hospitals. Now, as it is, you were talking about 10%, 15%. Rahul, the figure that we have at Consumer Voice is that in some cases, the profit is as high as 1,000% to 1,000%. and mostly these are reserved for the retailers and the distributors. And if even that particular price has been accepted by the government or NPPA, let's say that that is the price that is the consumer is getting. Now the point is, over and above that particular margin, again the hospital is earning
critical question now. What does the government intend to do? I want to listen now to Anupriya Patel. She is the Minister of State for Health. Let's listen to what she has to say about this India Today special report.
Well, the NDA government is committed to the welfare of the last man in the society, and that is why the health department has taken several initiatives to make sure that the drugs and diagnostic services are available at affordable prices to all. We have taken many initiatives like Amrit Pharmacy stores or the National Free Drugs and Diagnostics Policy, and even the Jan Aushadhi Kendras which are being established by the Department of Pharmaceuticals. So all these efforts are being made with an intention that we make health for all, the vision of Honorable Prime Minister, we are able to fulfill it. Well, you can be rest assured that if any such incidents comes up, we will definitely look into it, we'll examine it, and whatever is the appropriate action, we'll take it. Whoever is guilty will be dealt with strongly.
You know, she's saying the right things, but we need to ensure that these are not empty words, those words are turned into action.
Absolutely. And you see, if you look at the national list of essential medicines, now this list is a complete farce because medicines are essential. So how can you segregate medicines, you know, some of them calling them essential and some of them not essential? Anybody who takes a medicine, it takes us out of necessity. And 376 drugs, that's it. You know, there are some cancer drugs, there are some cardiac ailment drugs in it, but what about drugs which patients take for lifelong, like for blood pressure, for diabetes? These drug prices need to control, because these are burning huge hole in the pocket of a common man.
Greed. This is nothing but greed, and there has to be a limit
Rahul,
to greed.
There is one important point.
Yes, very quickly, because I'm out of time. Yes, Mr. Agarwal, quickly.
Rahul,
final words.
One important, because this is very important, that national essential pricing list is important, because under WTO, if you do not put them under essential medicines list, then you will not be able to manufacture it in generic medicine. Government has very good plan through price control authority, through price control order. If we promote generic medicines, the problem will be sorted out. We will have a better way. And
but one second. Mr. Agarwal, you're not in opposition. You are not an activist. You're in the government. You're the spokesperson of the BJP. What you're saying is what the government should be doing, and I hope that it does.
We are doing it.
I hope that it does. It's been done in the case of stents. It needs to be.
I'm telling what the government is doing. Rahul, I am telling what the government is doing.
Yes, but clearly,
Rahul, there's one point about consumers, and
20
that
seconds.
is basically the consumer awareness and consumer education on this.
That's important, you know. No, 1 second. The government, of course, has acted, but it's not as if all the cases have been ironed out. Some cases have been looked at. Many more cases need to be looked at. That's what Anand Patel's story brings out. I'm going to leave it there. Dr. Wali, Ashim Sanyal, Gopal Krishna Agarwal, most of all Anand Patel for that story. Thank you very much. An important consumer interest story. This, let's hope that the government acts and acts firmly, and that this greed is restricted. You can't end profits, but it needs to be limited to a reasonable amount.